Dear viewers, Namaskar. Welcome to this edition of News Bulletin. In view of the prevalent COVID conditions, you are requested to adhere to the COVID appropriate behaviors like wearing mask properly, washing hands frequently, maintaining social distancing and avoiding crowded places. In the headlines today, National Webinar on Igniting Brilliance in Leadership organized by NIPM Odisha chapter in collaboration with Rourkela Steel Plant. CEO RSP appreciates 5S implementation at slab yard of new plate mill. And new facility installed at Coal Chemicals Department. Now the news in detail. A national webinar on igniting brilliance in leadership was organized on 29th July 2021 by National Institution of Personnel Management NIPM, Odisha chapter in collaboration with SAIL, Rourkela Steel Plant. The event was organized on a hybrid mode with the physical function being organized at the HRD Center of RSP in adherence to COVID protocols. Mr. Deepak Chetraj, CEO RSP, was the chief guest of the function. Dr. Kamakshi Raman, ED SAIL MTI, Ranchi, and Mr. P.K. Satpathy, ED P&A, RSP and Chairman, NIPM, Odisha chapter were also present on the dais with the CEO. Mr. R.S. Mahapatro, Director HR, NALCO, Dr. Hare Krishna Satpathy, former Vice Chancellor, Tirupati Central Sanskrit University and KISS, and Professor S.S. Ganesha, Professor, Xavier Institute of Management, were the guests of the honors, who joined the session on virtual mode. Mr. V.K. Singh, Director Personnel, Power Grid Corporation of India Limited, was the keynote speaker of the event. Deliberating on the various facets of leadership, Mr. Chetraj said, "A brilliant leader is the one who also believes in collective leadership. Every individual who is dedicated, focused, empathetic, open to criticism and new ideas is a leader. And the brilliance in leadership is what leads to overcome barriers in yours as well as your team's contribution." The CEO elaborated on how excellent and brilliant leadership has been witnessed in RSP during the pandemic. He also spoke about how the employees of RSP managed their duties in the most responsible manner despite the pandemic-driven nationwide lockdowns. Emphasizing upon the role of each individual as a leader, Mr. Chetraj spoke at length the systematic approach of oxygen plant of RSP in supplying oxygen to hospitals across the country during the severe crisis of oxygen to emerge as one of the largest suppliers of the life-saving gas. Mr. Singh, in his keynote address, emphasized on the importance of encouraging every individual to explore the hidden traits within themselves with the words, "Giving people power who are closer to work." Dr. Kamakshi Raman in her address said, "Leadership in context of new normal has come out to be even more challenging. Brilliance in leadership emerges in the hardest of times and set new frame of references for the individual." Speaking on the occasion, Mr. Mahapatro reminded the recent difficulties experienced by every industry during the pandemic, where the employees had to follow the lockdown protocols without affecting the production. Challenging as it was, emerged great leader within every individual, he added. Professor S.S. Ganesha, in his address, said that the leadership has the ability to see things beyond horizon. He reiterated various real-life instances where young brains that put their out-of-the-box thinking in front of policymakers could be seen as the future leaders. The CEO also felicitated Mr. P.K. Satpathy, Chairman NIPM and ED P&A, Mr. A.K. Naik, CGM TA and CSR, Ms. Asha Kartha, GM in charge Oxygen Plant, Mr. Chitranjan Mishra, GM Silicon Steel Mill, Dr. P.K. Mahapatra, Additional CMO M&HS, Dr. R.R. Mohanty, Additional CMO M&HS, Dr. P.K. Sahu, PLIR and R, for their noteworthy contributions in the field of HR excellence. At the outset, Mr. P.K. Satpathy welcomed the gathering, while Dr. P.K. Sahu delivered the introductory address. The webinar concluded with a vote of thanks by Mr. N.C. Panda, DGM Personnel OD, RSP. The implementation of 5S workplace organizational methodology at the slab yard of the state-of-the-art new plate mill (NPM) of SAIL, Rourkela Steel Plant was appreciated by Mr. Deepak Chatraj, CEO, during his visit on 28 July. The CEO was accompanied by Mr. Pankaj Kumar, ED Works, Mr. A.K. Kundu, ED Mines, Mr. S.R. Suryavanshi, ED Operation, Mr. Pinaki Chaudhary, CGM NPM. The CEO applauded the efforts of the team associated with the implementation and urged the collective to sustain the system to derive desired results. He also urged the team NPM to extend 5S systems to different other locations like mills, shipping, etc. It is worth mentioning here that the new plate mill has recently implemented 5S methodology in its slab yard to improve the workplace efficiency under the leadership of Mr. Chaudhary. Notably, 5S is a workplace organization technique to create and maintain an organized, clean, safe and high-performing work environment in a structured way. 5S helps to create and maintain the efficiency and effectiveness of a work area. To achieve this, NPM mapped its slab yard into different columns, which has been further gridded. It has clearly defined the different locations for OK defective lineup slabs. The same has been displayed in the form of board painting in the slab yard entrance. To have an easy access, the slabs after unloading are piled up according to reference number and the same is being recorded both in hard copy and in digital formats. It helps in faster traceability and accessibility of the slabs and eliminates any kind of error during the process. 5S also helps in proper utilization of both workplace area as well as the resources available. Further, the system helps in providing a safe environment to work by following all safety rules at workplace and proper housekeeping. The new system installed at the 125 TPD sulfuric acid plant of Coal Chemicals Department of SAIL, Rourkela Steel Plant, was highly appreciated by Mr. Deepak Chatraj, CEO, during his visit to the plant on 28 July. The CEO was accompanied by Mr. I. Rajan, CGM CO and CC, Mr. L. Pal Chaudhary, CGM I&A, Mr. B.K. Tiwari, GM in charge CCD, Mr. S.C. Patra, GM in charge instrumentation, along with functional heads of operation, mechanical, electrical and instrumentation. Notably, a 125 TPD sulfuric acid is installed in the Coal Chemicals Department of RSP to cater to sulfuric acid requirements of CCD, CRM and CPP1. The plant is designed with the latest technology, automated operation and pollution control systems to produce clean, green and energy efficient production. Based on 5-stage DCDA process with highly efficient conversion and absorption systems, the unit has waste heat recovery systems, VVF drives from high power consuming motors, etc. The plant is also provided with PLC based process control systems for error-free operation, while alkali scrubbing system is provided to control SO2 emissions. The CEO applauded the efforts of the team associated with the implementation of new project and urged the collective to start operation at the earliest. Mr. S. Behra, DGM CCDO, and Mr. R. Patidar, Senior Manager Instrumentation, explained the automated plant operation. Mr. Piyush Jain, AGM CCDO, explained the highlights of the project. With this, we come to the end of this news bulletin. Namaskar.